Hey everyone, welcome into our latest Trade to Black podcast. I'm your host, Shad Eels, and today we're diving into one of the most important legal updates in cannabis reform we've seen in a long time. And it centers around the news from this week involving Terrance Cole, the new nominee for DEA Administrator under President Donald Trump. As mentioned earlier this week, Cole made headlines for stating that if confirmed, reviewing the rescheduling of marijuana would be one of his first priorities. That raised a lot of questions. So what do we take from all this from a legality standpoint? Well, we checked in earlier this week with one of the sharpest legal minds in cannabis policy, attorney Shane Pennington, and here's what he told us. First, Shane was clear. This announcement signals a major shift in momentum. Why? Because in his own words, once the administration turns its attention to this, it can be done very quickly. We need to understand that by Terrance Cole stepping in with rescheduling as a stated priority, it's no accident. Again, according to Pennington, he believes there's no way Cole would have made that statement to Congress without coordination from the administration. And that's promising. But here's where things get more powerful. If Cole is confirmed, he's the boss of the DEA. That means he has broad discretion over how this process unfolds. He could, for example, 1, move forward with the ALJ hearing, 2, cancel the hearing altogether and go straight to a final rule, and 3, determine the current legal process is compromised and pivot direction entirely. That's the power of being in the chair. He holds all the cards, and what's more, the groundwork is already laid. Further to that, there are 2 gorillas in the room. First, the HHS recommendation to reschedule cannabis. That carries major weight and can't be ignored unless DEA provides extremely strong legal justification. 2 is the OLC memo, which Shane calls the elephant in the room. This legal opinion has authoritatively resolved major legal questions surrounding cannabis rescheduling, including treaties and medical use standards. And remember, no one except the President, Attorney General, Congress, or the OLC itself can override that opinion. Do not overlook that. Together, this science and law are aligned. In Shane's words, the HHS sets the bowling lane, the OLC sets the bumpers. The ball's already rolling, and any detour now needs serious justification. So saying that, some may ask, hey, we've seen this before, so what's different this time? And that's true. We've had rescheduling debates before, but not like this. So what do I mean by that? Well, for one, we have a formal HHS recommendation. 2, we have a binding OLC opinion, and 3, a fully documented record of how the DEA under Ann Milgram handled this process, including alleged missteps. And finally, 4, and most importantly, a nominee publicly committed to reviewing this as a top priority. In other words, the legal and political infrastructure is already in place. The only question that remains, does this administration have the will to act? And we are about to find out. So what should the cannabis industry expect next? If Terrance Cole is confirmed, all signs suggest movement is inevitable. The direction and speed will depend on how he chooses to wield his discretion as head of the DEA, which completely makes sense. But as Shane Pennington put it, all roads lead to Rome. Some are longer than others, but the train is definitely moving. So what do you all think of the moving process when it comes to rescheduling? Does this help explain things a little bit better? Do you have any more questions? Let's keep the conversation going, so leave your comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback. As usual, make sure to like, subscribe, and smash on that bell for all notifications to stay up to date on the latest cannabis reform and policy information here at Trade to Black. That's it for today, and like I always say, stay open-minded, stay connected, and I'll see you next time on our latest Trade to Black podcast. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and thanks everyone for watching.